Namaste, wonderful Java learners. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we are embarking on an exciting journey into the world of Java Enterprise Edition contexts and dependency injection, or as we commonly call it, Java EE CDI. If you are building modern Java applications, understanding CDI is absolutely crucial, as it simplifies your code significantly and makes it much more manageable. In this 5-minute whiteboard tutorial, we will break down CDI into easy-to-understand concepts, show you practical examples, and share some valuable tips. By the end of this video, you will have a solid foundation to start using CDI in your own projects. So, grab your virtual notebooks, and let us dive right in. Alright, let us start with the very core of CDI, dependency injection. Imagine you have a class, say a car class, and this car needs an engine object to run. Traditionally, you would create the engine object inside your car class directly using the new keyword. This creates a tight coupling, meaning the car is very dependent on a specific engine implementation. With dependency injection, instead of the car creating its engine, a special manager, which in our case is the CDI container, provides the engine to the car. You simply tell CDI, hey, I need an engine here, and CDI intelligently injects it for you. This is achieved using the @inject annotation. Look at this simple code example. Instead of new engine, we just declare private engine and annotate it with @inject. CDI does the magic of providing the instance. This makes your code more flexible, testable, and easier to maintain. Now that we understand dependency injection, let us talk about scopes. Think of scopes as defining the life cycle and visibility of your injected objects. How long should an object live? Should there be one instance for the entire application, or a new one every time it is injected? CDI provides various scopes to manage this. Two very common ones for beginners are @application scoped and @dependent. @application scoped means that there will be only one single instance of that class throughout the entire application's lifecycle. It is like a global resource that everyone shares. On the other hand, @dependent is the default scope. It means the lifecycle of the injected object is tied to the lifecycle of the object it is injected into. If the injecting object is destroyed, so is the dependent object. For example, if you have a logger that you want everyone to share, you might make it @application scoped. But if a payment processor needs a specific transaction object that only lives as long as the payment processor itself, then transaction would be @dependent. These annotations are powerful for managing resources efficiently. Let us put these concepts into practice with a simple example. We will create a greeting service that provides a greeting message and a greeting client that uses this service. First, our greeting service will be annotated with @application scoped so that only one instance exists across our application. This service will have a simple method, say greet, which returns hello, CDI world. Next, our greeting client class will have a field private greeting service, and we will annotate it with @inject. That is it. We do not need to manually create an instance of greeting service in our greeting client. The CDI container will automatically find our application scoped greeting service and inject it into the greeting client. When you run your application, the greeting client can simply call greetingservice.greet and get the message. This clearly demonstrates how CDI handles the object creation and wiring for you, making your code clean and focused on business logic. As you begin your journey with CDI, there are a few common mistakes to watch out for. One frequent issue is forgetting to include a beans.xml file in your meta-inf or webinf directory. This file, even if empty, tells the CDI container to scan your application for CDI beans. Without it, CDI might not work as expected. Another mistake is misunderstanding scopes. For example, trying to inject an application scoped bean into a very short-lived object and expecting a new instance each time. Always remember the life cycle implications of each scope. Also, sometimes beginners try to inject into classes that are not CDI managed beans, meaning they do not have a scope annotation or are not created by CDI. Ensure your classes are properly annotated or produced by CDI. A good tip is to start with application scoped for services that maintain state across the application and dependent for objects that are specific to their injection point. Always think about the life cycle of your objects. And just like that, we have covered the fundamentals of Java EE CDI. Let us quickly recap what we have learned today. We started by understanding dependency injection, where CDI handles the creation and provision of objects using the simple yet powerful @inject annotation. Then, we explored CDI scopes, specifically @application scoped for application-wide singletons and @dependent for objects whose lifecycle is tied to their injection point. We saw a practical example of how to build a simple application using these concepts, and finally, we discussed common pitfalls to avoid and best practices to adopt. CDI truly simplifies enterprise Java development by reducing boilerplate code and improving modularity and testability. Keep practicing these concepts, experiment with different scenarios, and you will soon master CDI. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give it a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting Java tutorials. Happy coding and see you in the next.